the booth, we break it all down. The Vault Studio, the best show in town. Show in town, let's show in town, let's show in town. Lights on, mic check, game time, let's go. Jay George, Scotty running the show. Rock on the mix, keeping it tight. NFL talk every day, every night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Vault Studio NFL podcast. That's right, it's another week ready with another edition. Let me just go around the room and introduce everybody.
God.
To my left, we have a man who was finally able to put those stumpy little legs of his to good use during our recent gym session together. Please welcome Scott Too Hot.
Can move a few tons.
He weighs a few tons, of course. He can move a few tons. To my right, we have a man who this week was spotted on the boat with Stephon Diggs and Cardi B snorting an unknown pink powder. Please welcome James Arthur.
Was Stefan in Tasmania?
It was actually called Tootsie. If anyone's wondering, it's called Tootsie.
Oh, thank you. But this say we're an educational podcast.
We are.
What's Tootsie?
It's a cocaine with psychedelics.
Oh wow!
Allegedly, I'm not sure.
Allegedly.
Just asking
Look,
definitely not asking for me. Where do you get it from?
Yeah.
Just for friends.
I might
Miami,
just need to do
baby.
some
Miami.
research.
So they on that good is what we're saying.
Yep.
Wow, amazing. And finally, on the ones and twos, they say that imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. With that in mind, please welcome fresh with his own shirtless profile pic, Brock Jones.
He won't let us post his shirtless pic.
I don't know why. He looks fantastic.
That was for the boys. Fuck you all. That was just for the boys.
And I'm not even taking the piss here. He's looking slim. He's looking trim. He's in the gym. He's training. Like, I want to post it. He won't let me.
He's close to he's gone from fuckable to maybe bring you home to your family for dinner.
Yeah, no. Family for dinner. No
Yeah,
problem.
definitely.
Other way around there,
I
mate.
gotta
It's the other
say-
way around for
Hey,
sure.
I have my own rankings, Brock.
I'll print screen the photo, and it's kept me warm on many a cold night.
And it's been cold in
That's the one
Melbourne.
where it's been cold.
Being cold.
So listen, boys, listen. Off the top, I've got a little something I want to talk about off the top. You know, it's all fun and games in here, but I just want to get half serious just for one moment and talk about something that's not near and dear to my heart, but I think it's something that we should all speak about and all should all be aware about. June is Men's Mental Health Month. So yes, fellas, your feelings are real, and no, duct tape and some WD-40 won't fix them. This month, we salute all the blokes out there who've mastered the art of bottling emotions tighter than that one mate who never shouts a round of drinks. Now, I know what you're thinking, bro, I'm fine. But I'm here to tell you that talking about your feelings doesn't make you any less of a man, but makes you a better one. Whether you're stressed out about work, family, your fantasy football team, or just need a good vent about the skyrocketing price of a tin of Zins, the point I'm trying to make is
Finally.
They're
talk
actually
to
staying pretty
someone.
stable these days. It's good.
talk to someone. Mental health isn't just for yoga instructors and people with little toy poodles, but for all of us. So check in with yourself, and better yet, check in with a mate while you're at it, because remember, fellas, it's never too weak to speak. I implore all of you, use this month to focus on your health, physical, mental, and spiritual, so you can be the best version of yourself for the people you care about and who care about you. Thank you.
Well said,
No,
Georgie
that's
boy.
it. That's pretty
Spot on.
bang on there.
Yeah.
If you need help, reach out. Simple as that.
My phone's open. My phone's on 24/7. My DMs are open. Ladies, gentlemen, slide in.
In that particular order.
No, in that order, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to put it out there because it won't get a lot of media coverage. But yeah, June is Men's Mental Health Month, and I think it's something that, because in sort of like doing a little bit of research about it, there's a few little stats if you don't mind, I'd like to just bring out, because while doing a little bit of research about it, some pretty fucking astonishing shit that a lot of people might not realize.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 43% of Australian males have experienced a mental health problem at some point in their lifetime. That's almost 1 in 2. That's a lot.
Yeah.
In 2023, 2,419 Australian men died by suicide. That represents 75% of all suicide deaths. So 3 out of 4 in Australia are men.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's under the age of.
And no, listen to this.
Yep.
Suicide remains a leading cause of death among Australian men aged 15 to 44. The leading cause of death. That's
Scary.
That's terrible. Only 25% of men said they would seek help from a mental health professional if experiencing personal or emotional problems. That's 1 in 4. That's not enough.
No.
Fellas, take care of your mentals, man. Take care of your mentals. I'm telling you.
Yeah, the fact that it's the largest killer of men is terrifying to me. Like,
Yes,
it's just
it is.
It shouldn't be, because there has to be another way. There
When
has to be.
I saw that stat, that actually like astonished me, and so I was like, oh, I need to speak about this because that's not good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry to bring the mood down, but it was just something I wanted to bring
it's,
into
it's,
everyone's
it's
attention,
something
because I know
worth
that
mentioning.
And it
the,
could just
the majority
be,
of our viewership is males, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to speak.
and it could just be as simple as a phone call to a mate, or going out to having a beer with a mate and just getting all the feels out, and you'll feel better about it and getting a different perspective on your situation, and then that little step could literally save someone's life. So
Oh, well said, Scott. I 100% agree.
There's no problem big enough to end your life over. That's my opinion on it.
no,
No,
There's
of course
just not. I just think there shouldn't be anything that you can't overcome to that point with supportive people around you. So
Yeah.
reach out.
Yeah.
And before it gets to that point, just don't be afraid.
Yeah.
No one. The days are long gone where men just bottle everything up inside and just muster on with their day. You know, it's we know that that's not beneficial in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Like so,
it's not.
and like you said, like the way that the world's going at the moment is getting tighter and tighter and harder and harder, and it's a lot more pressure on men to provide for their families, and you know, the higher pressure creates, you know, more failure,
Yeah,
and
it creates a breaking point. I agree.
yeah. So no,
Yeah.
well said, absolutely.
Checking on yourselves, checking on your mates.
All right, let's get
Let's get on
into
with the show.
some NFL.
Thank you.
Let's start with Hassan Reddick. Doesn't show up to the OTAs for the I can't remember who he's
Tampa
playing.
Bay Bucks.
Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yep.
Their coach came out and said that we're hoping that Hassan turns up at some point. We're expecting to see him
He's
at some
becoming a
point.
holdout king. Who else did he hold out?
Well, he's
with?
not
The
holding
Jets.
out. Like, you got to remember, and
It was
we've got
the Jets,
we'll,
wasn't it?
we'll talk about some other guys now. Well, he got traded to the Jets without a contract, which wasn't his call. He didn't want to.
No, and then he held out during the season.
and he
too.
held out for his money, and then the Jets stupidly paid him, which was the
Whoa,
wrong
whoa,
move.
whoa! The ladies have stopped watching. You don't have to do
You
that.
take your jumper off.
It's really for the blokes now.
No, I just think one thing you got to remember: everyone getting up in arms about OTAs, they are optional.
Yes.
You don't have to go to them. Most players do go, but just remember they are optional. According to Hassan Reddick, I don't think it's a contract dispute or anything like that.
No, well,
He's
he got a 10-year or 11
11
mil
billion something deal
for
Like,
1 year.
Yeah,
So,
so he's it's not a financial thing. It's more a I just don't think he wanted to go to OTAs because he's a veteran, and
can
I don't hate that.
I weigh in? I think if you're a veteran and you sign a 1 year contract to that team, you're setting yourself a precedence that you're not really buying into the team that year.
Yeah, you're basically
Yes.
just
And
like a hired gun.
yeah, exactly. You're a mercenary, and I just don't like the look of that. And especially now, he's got a history of it. He argued with the Eagles, got traded. Argued with the Jets, got traded. Held out at OTAs. I know they're optional, and I know all of that. But it's a new team, a new system, new teammates. Just show up, even if you do it at 50%. Like,
Especially if
show
you're a
up.
vet as well. Like
Yeah.
young pass rushers on that team
Yep.
would love for Hassan Reddick to be there, just chatting with them and
Yep.
saying, "Hey, do this, do that." I've
Or
been doing it for 8
O-lineman
years
as well.
Yeah.
Hey, this is how I'd beat you doing this. So
Yep.
if you work on that, you know, it's not a good look. And
Oh, yeah, it's bad optics. I agree.
and
It's
we'll
terrible.
go into Myles Garrett. I don't have, and this is, I know it's hypocritical. I don't have a problem with Myles Garrett skipping.
See, I have even more of a problem with Myles Garrett skipping
Mm.
because in the offseason, he demanded a trade.
Yep.
He went to the Super Bowl basically trying to get a trade. He wanted
Yep.
to go to the Eagles or whoever else or whoever else. he
You
to
wanted
go
him to go to the Eagles.
Well,
Well, no, that's who he said.
yeah,
That's what he said.
He
And
said
the-
3 teams: Chiefs,
what
Eagles,
team-
and
contender.
I think Rams.
I think
were
he went
the 3
contender.
teams.
Yeah.
so the whole like he didn't want to play there. The owner said, "Well, we're not trading you," and then we're like, "Oh, well, we're going to give you all this money."
Yep.
He slutted himself out. He took the money, but part of the deal was that, we want him to be a bit more of a leader. We want him to, because he was showing up late to practices. We want him to sort of be a bit more of a leader in the building because of his stature in the game and also how long, he's been around. And instead of going to OTAs, being there for the young guys like we spoke about, he's in fucking Japan at some anime award with his girlfriend. Like, what are you doing, bro? You just took all this money.
He did say goodbye to the fans, so like, let's look at the bright side. He did say goodbye to the fans beforehand.
Yeah, but yeah, he said goodbye to the fans, but then he took the money. That's what I'm saying. Like, the money means that you have to toe the line. You have to do what's required of you. You can't just take the money and go, "Oh, well, yeah, but I told you guys I didn't want to play here, so I'm just not going to rock up."
We're all
Can I-
horse for money, man. We're
Can I
all
just say-
horse.
Yeah, I agree. But if you're going to take the money, that's blood money. If you're going to take that money when you didn't really want it, then you got to do something that you don't really want to do.
Yeah.
Can I say why I don't have that much of an issue with Myles Garrett?
Mm.
What, because he's good?
No. It's not that. It's the same system. It's all the same players. He's 31. I know Hassan Reddick's old too, but for my thing is it's all the same for him. And I don't. And he's such a perennial player. Once if he pulls a calf and he misses,
It's not about him, Scott. It's not about him. It's about his influence and effect on all the other players. What's that? The first round pick, Mason Graham. I'm sure Mason Graham would love to have him in the fucking building.
it's completely different though.
What do you mean?
No, he would love to have Miles
I'd
Garrett.
love to have
Oh,
Garrett in the building to just talk to him.
Yeah. And they've got the off season and the preseason for that.
I'm
But
just talking about it's about being a leader. That's what.
yeah,
I'm saying.
I do get that point of view, but I just think if it's the exact same system for the last how long has Schwartz been there for? Is it Jim Schwartz?
Yeah,
been
I
there.
think so, yeah.
He's been there for 3 or 4 years. Like he doesn't Miles Garrett doesn't get that much time off, really.
He would not be going. I get what you're saying, but he wouldn't be going to OTAs for his benefit. He would be going there for everyone else to benefit from his presence.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes being the best player on a team doesn't mean you're a leader. Like
Yeah.
there are guys that are the best players on their football team that they're just not leaders. Like, and
Yeah,
I
but
think that's where Miles Garrett falls in that
Yeah,
category.
but he's getting paid $150 million. Like you got to. You gotta be.
Yeah, I agree. I agree in principle, but some guys just aren't built like that. His mindset might be, I'm going to go to training. I'm going to stand around. I don't really want to talk to the young guys yet. I don't want to talk to some undrafted rookie that's not going to make the team.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's not my perspective. If
Well,
I was in his shoes,
Well, don't
I'd
take
be in the
money.
building every day. All that sort of like that's the way
Well,
I
don't
look
take
at
the
it.
money. Don't take the money.
But
then.
you got to have
Oh,
the
how
perspective.
can you
in
say
his-
not take the money when it's 150 million?
Yeah, he's got to take the money.
Yeah, but part of the deal was that they said that to him. Part of the deal was that we want you to step up.
Maybe
and be a
part of the
leader.
deal, his part of the deal was I'm going to skip OTAs and I'll be your leader during the preseason and the off season and
Okay.
during the season.
Like,
Maybe
put it this
remains
way:
to be seen then.
if
Yeah.
he got traded to the Eagles, say for example's sake, and got the money from the Eagles and didn't go to the OTAs, would you have a problem with it?
No, it's completely different because we're already good. We've already got plenty of leaders.
Yeah.
We don't need him to be a leader. They're shit.
So
and
he
they're-
can skip the
they're
OTAs
shit.
for the Eagles.
Yes,
I
because
think
they're shit and we're good.
But I
Yes.
think he should be at the OTAs for the Eagles. New team, new system, new coaching staff, and all that stuff. And he has to
I don't think it's. I don't think
build
him-
that
I don't think
chemistry
him-
with the new team.
I don't think him picking up the system is going to be an issue.
Yeah,
I don't think
But
the
it's
system-
other players playing.
Anyway, my thoughts are: if you're going to be a leader, you need to be that's if that's what you're built, that's what your personality is and your design.
Mm.
I think that people are natural leaders. I think leadership's a skill that you can get better at.
Mm.
There are people that have it naturally and they find it easier and are more open
Sure.
to being that person, and then they develop it more.
So if you're
I
the
don't think
Browns and
Miles,
paying all that money, wouldn't you? And you've already
they're not
said
they're
that
not
to him.
they're not paying him for OTAs. That's my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
And I think they know that when they sign him and give him that money, Leopards don't change their spots. He's not going to become the leader that they desire him to be because they've given him money.
He's also, I've got 2 points on this. He's also a 31-year-old perennial defensive player of the year. He's probably the favorite going into this year.
Yeah.
At a certain point, he's got to start preserving himself. And I know that OTAs, and they go at fucking 20%
Mm.
intensity.
He
And all
doesn't
that
even need
sort
to
of
do
stuff.
anything. I'd just be happy to just see him there walking around talking
And
to people.
The
He also
second
might
one-
have had this holiday booked in and been
Yeah.
like, I'm going to this, I won't be at
The
OTAs.
Japan Anime Awards.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
but he
well, it
might
might
have.
be his thing.
You never
And
know.
the second thing with the leaders, there's 2 types of leaders. You got the rah-rah guys that will get everyone up and about, and they may not be the best player in the team, but they get everyone G'd in and focused. And you got like the silent leaders that just lead by example as well.
Yeah, true.
So like you Luke Kuechly and stuff like that, he wouldn't necessarily be the rah-rah guy getting people's face, headbutt them, but he'd be like watching film for 3 weeks before he plays the team, and he knows what they're going to do, and he just destroys them. So,
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. There's
So-
different types of leaders.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
but I don't have a problem
I
with
would have liked to have seen
Garrett
it,
to skip.
Yeah,
Especially-
I think like
especially
it's
accepting all
it'd
that
be much better optically, but I think you don't know what the conversations he's had. Like Stefanski might have said to him, "Don't come to OTAs, man.
Yeah.
Like, go and enjoy your off season.
Yeah.
Like come back when
money.
training."
Yeah, but the
starts."
word, the couple of things that I've read is that they wanted him to step
Be
up
more
and be
of a
more of
leader.
a leader.
and then again, if the Browns thought that giving him all that money would turn him into that, then they're as stupid as anyone.
Well,
Because it doesn't change. He's
just
already
Add- give
earning
him that
money.
They
just
should've
add
traded
that
him.
add that to the list, and it looks like the dude running around with the quarterbacks and the jerseys of the list of things that the Browns have fucked
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but like, that's a bigger question, George. You said that they shouldn't have given him the money. They should have traded him.
Should have traded him. They should've got a haul
I
for him.
truly believe the Browns were
Wanted to
stupid
do
trying
it.
to keep him.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest mistake they
You know what
made.
they should have done? They should have gone to the Eagles and said, "We want your next 2 first-round picks,
Yep.
and we want Bryce Huff."
But
Bang.
they probably don't want pick 30 and 28.
That's the problem. They didn't want it from a contender because the picks become very invaluable. That's what I'm saying. I just think they should have tried. If he clearly doesn't want to be there. I think next off season we're going to be having the same conversation when the season ends.
Yeah,
He'll
you're
just
probably
be
not wrong.
he'll just be getting traded on the contract
Yeah.
he's already on.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably not be on the Browns. If I had to guess, it'd be a 70% chance in my mind that he doesn't play for the Browns next season, like the one after this one.
That's fair.
Because
That's fair.
they'll suck next year, and then he'll roll back and go, "Nah, guys, it hasn't got any better. I'm out."
Realistically, what are they? They're a 4 or 5 win team this season.
The only chance they have is if Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders become like
Competent.
a Bo Nix sort of story. Like, okay, we've got a guy.
Yeah,
We've got a guy in
they
it.
got Flacco and Pickett there too. So
One of those guys won't. One of those guys
Flacco
definitely
will
get
probably
traded.
be starting week.
I
one.
would
They
put
need to
I'd
get
put
rid
money
of
on
Watson or just for the
yeah, I'd put money on Pickett not being on the roster.
Well,
Sure.
rumor has it that he's going to the Saints because Moore was with him at the Eagles last year. And
Oh yeah, okay.
So
All
they'll
right,
move
okay.
him. Yeah, I don't think Pickett will be on their team.
So, Flacco will be the starter week 1.
I would
Oh, yes,
Undoubtedly.
for sure.
I'd say unless one of these rookies just
Nah,
blow
that's-
the socks off him. But
I
I think
see it.
Flacco will be the starter for the first few weeks at a minimum.
Yeah.
And they should. He should. He's the
but
incumbent
the
guy. He
coach
should
really
be.
likes Gabriel. That's why he drafted him in the 3rd round.
Yes.
I've got to say, I know this is, but I think Gabriel has been one of the most surprising players of the OTAs and like so far. He's
Right.
been, for me anyway. He's been.
But you
much
were off
more,
Gabriel.
I said I don't like his size,
Yeah,
but
he is
he's
small.
competent.
Yeah.
He can
He can
certainly
make every throw.
sling a ball.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
he's been he also hit a hole in one the other day. That was
That's
pretty
all
cool
right,
too.
yeah.
All right, let's get
Just
to
Before we
sorry,
get
Rocky.
past this, just want to say there's a couple Browns players coming out saying they don't care if Miles Garrett's at OTAs at all. They say he's one of the best leaders in the team, and he leads by actions, not by rah-rah. He doesn't just say things to say things. He's missed OTAs since 2019.
Yep.
Hasn't affected his play.
No, it definitely hasn't affected his play. There's
So-
no doubt about that.
But it's also a case you don't want this stud defender doing an extra 5 weeks of practice, potentially getting hurt, and you're losing for the season after you just paid him a big contract too.
Yeah.
Did you
I'd say
see
that
that
point of view.
Steelers tight end, Parnam Jr., who the one who got knocked out on the field and was like having a fit on
No,
the
I
field
missed that.
for the Chargers a couple of seasons ago? He tore his ACL today.
Yeah,
The
I did
poor
say that.
bugger. Like he just can't get it.
Mm.
He's from all reports since he entered the NFL, he's one of the most talented football players going around as a tight end.
Can't get his body
Just
right.
Can't-
it just
yeah.
cannot stay on the park, and it's just so this is where like the OTAs, the bad stories outweigh the good stories so much, and that's just like now the Steelers. That was a guy they're probably going to rely on a little bit this year, and he was probably relying on I'm going to have a fresh start,
Yeah.
and
Good
now
season.
He's
and
probably
now-
on a 1-year contract or
yeah,
something
he's
like that.
a 1 year contract,
Yeah.
and now his season's over, and
He's probably done.
again, teams will not like he will get a vet min next year
or a
at
practice
best.
squad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's it. He's going to have to work his way back, and we all know that you lose 3% in the NFL, you really fall off. Yeah, that's what you fall off. a cliff.
Well, you got a 4-year shelf life.
Yeah, like you
Typically.
lose that 3%, you're all of a sudden not the athlete that you need to be to
Yeah.
play in the NFL. Or what most guys, there's rare guys that it doesn't matter because they're so good.
Stephon Diggs.
Let's talk about Stephon Diggs and the boat party. George alluded to it.
Is this a story?
It is absolutely a story because this is the Patriots signed him. It's basically said to him, "We believe that you can be a number one guy again." He's coming off an ACL.
He's not getting paid like a number one
No,
guy.
no,
though.
but there weren't many teams like if you've had to sign with the Patriots, there's not many teams lining up to sign you.
True.
In fairness, for the money he got, he obviously didn't
what was
get
the
much.
contract.
I think it's only like 6 million.
20, I think it was about 66 for 3
Yeah,
off
so-
memory.
So a decent amount of money
20,
So-
yeah, but 20 million for your best wide receivers, not
off an ACL, and he's a bit older.
But they're
Yeah.
banking on him being their number one guy.
yes, that's right. Yes,
And I don't mind like go and have your fun. Like I'm not gonna get stuck into a guy for going on a boat party and having a bit of a laugh and having some
Yeah.
fun. Like
The worst part of all that is that he's hooking up with Cardi B. Yuck.
well, no, the worst part is that
What are you
he's trying
trying-
to get him to call him daddy. It's
yeah,
like,
that
come
was
on,
actually
that was the more cringe
the
part.
fact that he was saying to them, "Call me daddy," and all three of them called him daddy was
Yeah.
just a real.
What's my
insight to
name?
what
And she's
sort
like
of-
Stefan. He's like, what's my name?
"Yeah,
I've got no issue with that.
It's-
Cardi B and Diggs, that's like the black Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey right there.
Yuck, bro.
That's what that is. It's bringing it into the urban market.
Yuck. She's gross, man.
Patriots are just trying to get just trying to capture a new market because since Tom Brady left, they've got zero market.
There's too many white fans there, and they need to like go more urban.
No, they got my boy Drake May. They're in a good.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't mind if he's not at the OTAs as much. It's just, and again, get better fucking mates.
Mm.
Clearly, you're not there with your good mates because your good mates don't film that and then post it for the world to
that's
see.
right.
Like they just don't. So he's hanging out with a bunch of obviously guys that aren't really good friends.
No,
Because
I reckon there was another girl that filmed that. I'm sure.
3 years, $63.5 million was his contract as well.
21 mil a year.
Yeah.
It's a chunk of money
Yeah,
for a
it's
guy
decent.
that's coming from AC.
25 guaranteed.
So it's a 1 year deal, basically. They
Essentially,
can
yeah.
cut him after next year. But I said his career's in the balance. Again, he should be doing everything possible to make sure that at the end of next year, he's either the Patriots are like, you're our guy, or every other team's coming to try and get him from the Patriots.
I would say it'd be a front-loaded contract, and they can cut him after.
It
this
is.
That's what
year.
it is. It's 25
25
guaranteed.
guaranteed.
Yeah,
It's just this season's guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly. And then-
No, so his base salary this year is 2.9 million. Next year is 20 million. The year after that's 20 million as well.
Yeah, but it's the signing bonus.
His signing
is
bonus-
guaranteed money.
Was 4 million this year.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
it's not super high.
It's pretty even. His cap hit next year is 65.5.
Jeez.
He's gone.
What?
He's a
As again,
he's
it's stacked against him contractually, so he has
Yeah.
to perform this year.
65 million cap hit
Yeah,
next
because that's
year.
when his guarantees would kick in.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
This is where
It'd
the
be a
guarantee. This is why I
post-June-
think salary cap's a myth in
Yeah.
the NFL because the guarantees don't have to kick into a certain point.
Yeah.
Like it's just they
And
can do so much.
He'd be cut before June next year, and then that'd be like a $10 million hit.
Yeah,
or
there's
something
so
like that.
much just
Yeah.
like wordage they can put in a contract that just void stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They
I
paid
just thought
16.8 if they cut him. June 1st.
Vrabel's response was hilarious when they
Yep.
asked him what he thought. He was like, "What do you think I thought?" Basically, he's like, "What do you reckon?"
Yeah.
He's like,
Have you spoken to Stephon? He's like, yeah, I speak to every one of my players every single day.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to Stephon. It's like, can you imagine that phone call? I
It'd be like
imagine
they're
Stephon's
disappointed,
like,
Dad.
imagine Stephon's like, dude, I didn't know they were filming me.
Yeah.
And Ray was like, bro, I've been you before. Well, not necessarily you. I was just hanging off Tom Brady's coattails. But like I've been on the boat before in an off season.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
put the phones in a bucket.
Yeah,
like
no
think
shit.
about it.
Just put the phones in a bag.
No
when you walk
phones on the boat.
Yeah.
Not the bag that has the coke in it.
No,
Not good for
especially
a phone,
especially the pink coat.
unless it's a screen. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day.
in the Tootsie.
The last one for some news. Huff traded from the Eagles
Mm.
to the 49ers. This
Yeah.
was so he was traded last year for Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick was just basically a straight swap.
Yeah.
They gave him a contract. He was
It was
a
a hefty contract. It was a three years, 50 million or
It
something.
was
He
a
was
decent
non-active for the Super Bowl.
he was a healthy
Deactive.
scratching for
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that tells you everything. They've moved him on they didn't even report what the pick was. It was a mid to
Six.
late round pick.
I think it's a sixth
A
round.
six.
A
So-
sixth or a fifth.
Eagles
I'm
are-
sure there's something like if he gets 10 sacks, it turns into a fifth or something like that. But
I think it was
Eagles are
something
eating
like
half his salary too. I'm
yeah,
pretty
they're eating a
sure.
lot of his
yeah,
contract.
I think it was like a fifth, and they swapped sixth or something like that. It's nothing. It was literally.
I think it was just a
nothing.
bad scheme fit. Like,
Oh, my point is with this is I think the first move Howie's got wrong in a long time.
Jahan Dotson.
oh,
Well, Dotson scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Cool. An
Everyone
NFL
did. You're right.
an-
Everyone did.
An
Tony
NFL
Pollard.
receiver scored a touchdown.
Look,
Cooper DeJean
Awesome.
scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Everyone did. If white boys are
look,
doing
he got him there as a pass rusher, and as a pure pass rusher, he is good. But
Yeah.
I just don't think he works in Fangio's system. Fangio's very much a gap guy, and he wants his edge guys to be able to
Set an edge.
set the edge, and like
Yep.
be run stopping guys as well. And that's just not Huff's
No, he's
bag.
a he's a
straight
fly off the edge guy.
fly off the edge pass rush guy. He'll actually do really well. He'll do really well at the 49ers because he's back with Salah, who was his
Yes,
coach
that's
at,
right.
at New York.
He was pretty productive with Salah in
Yeah,
Salah's
yeah,
defense.
10 or 11
Yeah.
sacks that year.
Yeah.
So this is actually like a bit of a win-win because it saves, like, I think we ended up saving like 15 million in cap
Yeah.
as a result of this trade. So, I mean, you look, Howie, we know Howie, he swings for the fences with all his moves.
Yep.
They're big time moves, like getting Barkley and whatever else.
I'm saying there's a positive that this is really the only time I can remember Howie
Yeah.
being. And again, he didn't want Hassan Reddick either because Hassan Reddick wanted them. He would have just held out for the Eagles last year. Would have been,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't have paid him.
because we wouldn't have.
They would have
'cause
been like, "No, mate, we're not paying."
we're not paying you because you're not worth that money. And
Yes.
it's clear that he wasn't.
I'm sure we could find other moves that Howie's got that are wrong. But
How dare
he's
you.
got he's got a
How
good
do you
shot.
sleep at night?
I'm sure he would have. He drafted Rager over Jetters.
Yeah, true.
That's a biggie.
There's a few, but you know what? When you win a Super Bowl, it doesn't fucking matter.
No.
I'm just saying that
It doesn't matter. And we made 2 in 3 years, and we were a shitty call away from winning another one. So,
the success rate for GMs is astonishingly low.
Yeah,
So,
so-
every move, if it's under a microscope,
Yeah, so
you could-
I think we've got to eat about half his salary, but it's like we saved a lot on cap. It's not that big a deal.
No, I don't think it is either.
As
It was
far as
more
like,
just
mistakes go, it's pretty.
and this is
pretty
what I
low.
like about Howie when he's
cut it loose.
when he's happy, when he's happy to move on, he just moves on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just being like, you know
There's
what, we got it wrong. I'm sure he looked Huff in the eye and went, hey, we both got this wrong. It's not
Mm.
working out. Sarles at the Niners. Let's go back there.
Let's get a deal done.
Best of luck with you, man. Like,
Yeah, get a
best
deal
of
done.
luck. Yeah. All right, let's get into our main topic of the week or game, whatever you want to call it.
Game.
Is it a game? It's not
No,
really a game.
just a topic.
A
So,
topic.
Don't play
I-
games. Don't play games in my heart, man.
I always.
so I
do,
thought
man.
about it, and obviously,
This was your idea, Scott. It was a good
yeah,
idea.
yeah. So,
Pretty sexy.
so I
idea,
thought
man.
about it, and obviously, when we roll into the season, we're probably only be talking about 15 teams, and a lot of the teams get they fall through the cracks, and they're already sort of going that way with OTAs in the off season. So I thought I'd bring out a NFL who are they not talking about list. And I've got a criteria here of they didn't play in the playoffs last year, didn't get a top pick.
Sorry, everyone just saw George's head up close.
Oh, did they?
That's all
Um,
good.
It was bald.
Get on Spotify. He's got a great head.
Yeah, didn't get a top pick, didn't make a massive trade, and didn't fire a coach. So just they just don't have any of the triggers where anyone will talk about them in the offseason. So first off, I've got the Arizona Cardinals, and we did put this one out on the socials, and we did get a lot of responses back, which was good. A couple of them came in with the list that I already had, which is also good. So we're going to rip into.
Shout out to everyone. Like, I posted this yesterday. A ton of responses of people wanting to hear about teams, which is
Yep.
awesome. Like, guys, we love this shit. We want your responses. We want your interaction. We
Not-
want that.
Not that we get sick of talking about, the Eagles and Chiefs and.
I'll
Bills.
never get sick of talking about the Eagles.
We get sick of
Did
hearing
you know
about
we put our backups in the Super Bowl?
Oh, shut up.
So did the Chiefs for different reasons.
Brock shaking his head. I love it.
No, so Horsey,
Fuck the Chiefs.
the great man Horsey
Yes.
from We Are For,
I'll shout
basically every single design
Appreciate it.
we've ever had on
Yep.
our podcast has been from Horsey.
I just want
Absolutely.
to say the guy is a design genius. I just
Yeah.
want to put that out there.
And
Good.
the t-shirt thing, we're revisiting it. We will get back onto that.
Oh, that, and you know what? That is 100% my bad. I will get on that. You know what? Hold me accountable. This week, I'll
Yeah.
send out a post to everyone because there's been a few people. There's been a lot of people that want t-shirts. I'll get that sorted. Horsey sent in. Also, the greatest thing about Horsey is, and I'm going to toot his horn
Oh.
for everything he is as a designer and the stuff he does for the podcast. He's a
Far better
20
bloke.
times better bloke.
Yeah.
One of the best bloke. I've never met someone who met a man like Horsey and was like, I don't like that guy.
Nah.
He's
He's the most
a better
liked-
bloke than he's a designer. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
much
I agree
better.
100%.
And he's
He's
on
just a
par with the
legend.
O-lineman too.
Yes, he's a legend. So he sent in, while everyone's busy debating the Chiefs dynasty or obsessing over the Cowboys' annual collapse, nobody's whispering a word about the Arizona Cardinals. And maybe that's for the best. The team has become the NFL's official "where are they now" exhibit, flapping through seasons with less direction than a broken GPS.
Uh-huh.
Arizona has turned irrelevance into an art form. Even the tumbleweeds in the deserts have stopped rolling by the stadium out of sheer embarrassment. Can the Brock size half a person get them back on track? Can McBride find his ideal husband? Is Marvin going to be starving for more targets? Thoughts?
Nah, that's a
Fuck
ripper.
you,
So-
Horsey.
First off, shout out to
What am
Horse.
I going to drive by for?
He
So-
actually sniped you from the bell tower.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, straight drive by. What the?
Just quickly on Marvin, some preseason footage. He looks good, man. He's looking
He's
jacked.
jacked.
He put on
You're
like
looking big.
9 pounds of muscle
Yeah.
or something, which is
Anyway,
like 15 kilos.
Let's
No,
let's
no,
let's rip
About
into the
It's like 4
Oh,
kilos.
other way
bro.
around. My bad.
let's rip into the Cardinals, and then we can discuss the players. So I've got so they drafted Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle, who's going to be a stud. They also had Will Johnson fall to them at pick 47. He was the consensus 13th overall prospect.
Oh, he was the number one corner in the
Yeah,
draft.
he was
but-
a gun corner.
He
Yeah.
hurt himself, yeah?
Yeah, so he's coming off an ACL, but also they
Ran
were
about 40.
concerns about his speed. But even you can hide speed in the NFL a little bit with scheming and all that sort of stuff. So if you get
Definitely
the
can
13th,
now.
yeah. So if you get the 13th overall pick, that is just great draft value.
Good value.
Yeah.
So I've got their superstars on the roster there. So obviously Trey McBride, we know about, probably second best tight end in the league behind Bowers at the moment.
He's definitely top 5.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Kyler Murray, little meat hamster, and Buddha Baker, who quietly has put a fantastic resume together as a perennial All-Pro safety year after year.
And had a down year 2 years ago, but last year they were going to trade. There was like trade
Yes.
rumors.
Yep.
And he said to them, "Don't trade me. Like I've got you.
I've got juice in
basically."
the tank. Yep.
And then had an outstanding season last year. Like,
Yeah.
if he was on the Eagles, he'd be talked about way more.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolute stud. And one of the most underrated players to your point.
Yeah.
So I've got a coaching hot seat here. So Jonathan Gannon, his record's 12 and 22. I've got it I've just went like low, medium, low, moderate, or high for the hot seat. So I've got it moderate.
Moderate's fair.
It's a make or break third year, and I think the pass mark for the team this year is like 8 or 9 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically where I'm at with the Cardinals. What do you reckon with the
Yeah, well,
the roster?
it's
the-
it's all kind of hinging around Kyler. Like, well, what's he going to do? In my opinion, he's got to stay healthy for one. If he stays healthy and he plays at a level that I've seen him play before, they could probably get to 10 wins. They could probably. I don't know what their schedule's like. I
Like
don't know what their schedule-
ceiling wise, yes,
ceiling
Yeah.
is probably 10 wins.
Yeah.
Real tough division as well, but
it is. It
There's
is.
no doubt about that.
I
That's
know,
spot on.
I know Brock's taking the piss, but it is actually.
oh no, I'm serious. That's a tough division. That's an equal.
4 good
Everyone's
teams.
equal.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
pass mark.
Rams Niners, like, yeah, that's a hard division. Man.
I think for Gannon, the one thing that I've always taken away from Gannon,
yes, bro.
Yes.
we know.
his players play hard for him.
He's
Yeah.
one of those guys that raises the floor of all his players.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like the superstars there to really.
My only question mark
Game
is
changers.
how long is Gannon and I've forgotten the GM's name because they didn't extend Kyler. He
Yeah.
was extended to 4.
Yeah.
So how long are they going to stick with him before they just pull the pin and go, no, we need to ship this guy off and get someone else?
Well, I don't know if Gannon's got the runs on the board to go through a rebuild.
I think his season needs to be, because he's a defensive coach,
That's right.
he needs to have a good I'm saying like top 10 defense sort of thing. And I don't know if he's got the talent to do that, except he's got Buda Baker. I like their linebacker, Xavier Collins. He's quite underrated. The Cardinals are historically bad at getting success at off-ball linebacker. Hassan Reddick was the one before they drafted him in the first round. They didn't move him to a pass rusher till his 4th season. Then he had a breakout year, and then he was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
which is
Xavier Collins is a genuine middle linebacker. He can rush the pass rush, but I don't think he's going to be that Reddick. But they just find ways. For guys to not. He's a good player, and I feel like the second he goes to another team, he's going to be really good.
Potential unlocked. Yeah.
I just think they don't unlock these guys enough. So I think for Gannon to keep his job, he needs to have a really good defense, and guys like Xavier Collins need to break out. Campbell, if he turns into a really good corner, and they're like, how the hell did this guy fall?
Paris Campbell, the tackle.
No, who did you say before the corner? Isn't it Campbell?
No, Buda Baker.
No,
No,
the
no.
corner that they
Oh,
drafted.
the new one. Oh, Will Johnson.
Johnson. Sorry,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mistake. And then again, like Paris Campbell was actually he was
He's
a
a
great
gun.
pick last year.
Yeah.
Great pick.
Yeah.
He was I think the 8th overall pick or something
Yeah,
last
and
year. So
he looks like a very good tackle.
he's a good left tackle.
Yeah.
And so they've got some pieces there. He needs to develop the talent so the organization go, okay, this guy's developing our talent. Now we've got to get him more. Now it's on us. He's he's raised the floor of all these players that aren't that talented. We now need to get him some talent in the building so he can raise the floor of talented guys.
They're also
And that's
coming
when you
off
start
a
winning.
little bit of a colossal collapse last year as well. So I think they were 2 games ahead in the division halfway through the year.
Yeah.
And then
I think Murray
Seattle
got
beat them
hurt.
twice. And then who?
Did Murray get hurt last year? Am I dreaming that?
No, I think he was pretty healthy. I
No,
think he was
okay,
coming.
healthy,
Was he
man.
coming
That's
off the
my bad.
ACL, and that was the full year coming off the
Yeah,
ACL?
right. The year before he came back a cut
Came
of
back
half.
No,
yeah.
it was his second year off the ACL.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
first year he came back like
Yes.
halfway through the season.
Yeah. So this would be the year where
The first full year.
typically where it's the year after that when you come back.
When you're proper, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I
Unless you're Adrian
crazy?
Peterson.
Tell me if I'm crazy here.
Yeah.
I really like Kyler Murray.
Oh, so
I think
like
he's a good player.
he was an MVP candidate the year he did his ACL.
Yeah.
He was in the top 5
Mm.
consistently all year.
I don't dislike him. The only thing he's very inconsistent.
Yeah, and I think a lot of
Plays
that's because of injury.
And
But
I think what I'm trying to say is that his floor and his ceiling are too far apart.
yeah, that's fair.
I think that's
That's
the biggest
definitely
knock on
fair.
him.
I think
Definitely
isn't that the definition of consistent?
Yeah, he was just explaining it in a way that Brock would get.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I got you.
Why? Sorry, Brock. Sorry for the drive-by. You're just copping it tonight. I'm sorry.
I've copped it all week. What
In
the?
fairness, he was
We love
dishing
you,
it out
Happy
all
Bee.
pre-show, so you're getting
Yeah.
what you
He
deserve.
was delivering some slang in the
Was he
pre-show
ever?
chat.
Was he ever?
Yeah.
But
Some people aren't going to recover from that. Not me. I'll be fine.
So-
I'll never recover.
So pass mark for the Cardinals. Where do you think is a pass mark for them this year?
I don't think I'm going to take wins or loss off the table from my
Okay.
perspective. I don't care about the win. I think if they have a dominant defense, the best case scenario is that their offense sucks so bad that they get an early pick and they can look to get a quarterback and then like have a mini rebuild around a good defense.
Yeah.
The defense is young. Have a mini rebuild around a good defense. Get a quarterback in. Marvin Harrison needs to have a really good year.
I think he's a breakout.
It can't just be like an
Yeah.
800 yards, 5 touchdown season, like 3 touchdown season. It's got to be
No way.
1,200 yards, 8 or 9 touchdowns, that sort of thing. So everyone's going, all right, this is the guy we thought he was in the draft. And then you go, okay, well, all we're kind of missing offensive, we can get a talented quarterback in, and our record now allows us to try and get after that sort of guy.
Mm.
Problem is, Murray's
And they move on
contract
from
is
Murray.
Still so much money. Still like-
It'll be on his last year next year.
But
think-
typically, if
If you draft a
have,
rookie, you don't care. You got the rookie deal, and then you move on.
typically if you have one of these defenses
3 years
that are
left.
quite
yeah, I
dominant,
thought so. Yeah, there's a lot left, man. And he's like the 7th highest paid quarterback.
That's
coming.
wild.
Is that right, Brock? Look that up.
He's 43 million next year, 53, then 43 the year after
Yeah,
that.
still a lot of fucking money, man.
Yeah.
but he's a borderline top 10 guy, so he's getting borderline top 10 money. That's sort of apples.
I just think that the win loss aren't as important for Arizona.
But I think if you have one of those dominant defenses, which what you're saying, they typically lead to wins. So
Yeah.
you can't
They'll
have a
probably
dominant
win. They'll probably win
defense.
8 or 9 games on that.
Yeah, so you can't have a dominant defense and then be in a running to get one of the top.
I just think
quarterbacks.
there's a lot stacked against them offensively. James Conner's
It
I
might
love
be-
James Conner.
yeah.
Like he's been so enjoyable. He's one of my most favorite running backs to watch.
Yeah.
He runs hard. He's everything you like in a
You
guy.
saw the signs last
leader.
year.
But he dropped off. He was injured last year a lot. Like that.
I think that Trey Benson.
Yeah, like they
he's
just-
okay.
Like offensively, the only guy you're confident with on their offense going into this year is McBride.
Right, yeah.
I'd say Harrison as well. I would say that.
I'm
Nah,
not yet. I
wanna see
would.
more.
I would be happily proved wrong about him. I have faith he can be a really good player.
Yeah.
But from what I saw last year, well, he was open a lot and they didn't. Yeah, that you can't just be like everyone's open a lot. Like defenses will actually specifically leave guys open on plays to scheme as part of a scheme. Like,
Yeah.
That sounds stupid. Like they're going to leave guys wide open, but there are triggers, right? He
Yeah.
might be open because he's the 4th option, and the defense know he's the 4th option, and they know they're going to get to Kyler Murray before he can even get to that option. So,
I would say also, outside of Chase and Jefferson, that these stud alpha receivers usually take a year to get
Yeah.
up to NFL speed.
Yep.
And then year 2, you're like, oh, yeah, we forgot about that guy last year.
and he's a big guy. Like Marvin
Yeah.
Harrison isn't your 4-3 speed guy that
No.
can get by just purely on being an athlete.
Yeah.
He's a route runner.
He's also an athlete.
Yeah, and he is a fast guy,
Yeah.
but he's not like NFL wise. He's not in the top 10 for fastest receivers.
No,
in the
no,
NFL.
no,
He's just
no.
not that sort of player.
Yeah.
So it's gonna like we saw it with Drake London. His rookie year was like, oh god, is this guy any good? And then he worked. He realized, all right, well, I'm bigger than everyone, so I need to run my routes a bit differently
Yeah.
to highlight that I can outcatch these guys. I can position my body
That's fair.
in ways to make them have to come through me,
Yeah.
and then we've seen what he's become.
He had better quarterback players.
And he
But
did
like
too.
JS and Addison both came on in their second years
Yep.
and stuff like that. So I would be confident in Arizona having a stud than him being a bust.
Oh, if someone gun to my head right now, someone was like, he's a stud after this season or he's crap,
Yeah.
I'm definitely going stud.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I love Paris Campbell. I think that's good, but
Yeah,
they just there's not much else going on. That Kyler Murray is stacked against it this year.
Yeah.
I think the cards are stacked against him to have a
I
successful
think
season.
Arizona are going to be one of those teams, and probably the Chargers is probably a little bit harsh, but one of those teams that they're a very tough out. They're going to be a feisty fight to the death. You've really got to beat them. They don't beat themselves typically, and they're not going to be like an easy beats. Like you're going to roll into their stadium and beat them by 3 scores. I think you
You're gonna
really
fight.
have to.
You're coming in for a
dogfight.
battle.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
why I think Gannon, he whether they fire him for a bad record or not, like the record's not as important as long as that attribute still happens, that the
Yep.
players are fighting their guts out, and everyone's like, I really don't want to play Arizona. Arizona on 3 wins at week 15. I don't want to play them because
Yeah.
they're going to beat the shit out of us.
Yes,
They're not going to stop. That is the sign of a good coach. That's a coach that you should stick behind.
Yeah.
And I think Gannon is that coach. And I think if Gannon was fired after next season, there would be 31 teams lining up to hire him as a defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah.
doubt. No doubt about
There,
it.
there'd
I
be
think-
not many teams that wouldn't be like, yep, we'll have you over someone else.
I think this is a very crucial year 3 for Gannon.
Yes,
Very
it is.
crucial.
And I hope he doesn't get fired. I really like him.
I think he's a good coach too.
I don't think he gets fired. It'd be very harsh if he does.
Look, 3 years is like when you're a first year head coach. A lot of them don't get past year 3.
That's the market. And Arizona are prone to fire people.
Yeah.
Like they fired Kingsbury. I know he didn't have a lot of success, and the
Well, he
players,
dropped
the
off,
players
yeah.
kind of turned on Kingsbury a little bit. They fired Steve Wilkes after one season. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that's right.
even that bad a season. Now,
And then they had the playoff seasons.
like I said, they're known to not hang on to coach. There's organizations that hang on to coaches till they basically die, and there's organizations that are like, nah, year 3 we're good. We've seen
And-
what we need to see. We don't think it's getting better. We're out.
And you don't know what offensive guru is going to be on the market. And then if you have Harrison, McBride, a running back comes out, and then you've got Kyler Murray, you kind of look like an attractive destination for, like a Ben Johnson-esque offensive-minded guy.
The next Ben Johnson, which
Exactly.
is going to happen by week 5 next year. We're going to be talking about the next Ben Johnson.
Yes,
It's that
exactly.
simple.
Yeah.
It was
So-
Eric Bieniemy before him, and for some reason, he just never got a job.
Is Stolak? Ben, is it Ben Stolak? From
Yeah,
Texans?
Stoic.
Yeah.
So
It was right up there, and now he's out of a job. So
is he not the OC for the Texans anymore?
no, he got fired.
Wow. There you go.
Anyway, moving on to the next one. So that's a little wrap up on the Cardinals. Next, they're actually in the news a little bit now, but when I went through the list, they weren't. So fuck yeah. I've got the Miami Dolphins. So they got Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle, who I rate really highly. He might be the most gifted defensive tackle in the stacked draft. And they got an offensive guard who I'm not going to go into. I don't know anything about him.
If he's an Islander, he'll hit.
Yeah.
I can
So-
promise you.
So
Head
the
like a
Stars,
coconut.
the Stars are a little bit of an iffy one. So they've got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey, and Jalen Waddle. 2 of the 3 may not be there for the start of the season. Coach hot seat. I've got Mike McDaniel. He's 28-23 in his career. I've got it on a hot, scorching. Scorching
Yeah,
hot.
he's scorching.
Yeah, I think so.
Scorching.
And I think the pass mark for Miami this year is 9 wins, and they need to be in the playoff hunt all year. They can't have one of their hot and cold win 5, lose 5. They need to be pretty consistent all year. In a sneaky competitive.
It's a good division.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Buffalo are going to be one of the best teams in the AFC.
It's Buffalo's division, obviously,
Yeah.
but I think the Patriots are going to be a very buttoned up, well drilled, not going to give out penalties. Sort of.
Tough.
You want to talk about a hard out like Arizona? The Patriots are going to be a hard out this year with Vrabel. I'm
Yeah.
telling
Tough
you
as
now.
nails.
Yeah,
They're going to come. They're going to smack you in the mouth, and you're going to have to beat them.
We were talking about last year how coaches up your wins in the year, and we're not going to spend too much time on the Patriots, but Sean Payton was that coach where Broncos are like, oh yeah, they won 4 games. I can't remember what they won, but they won 4 games. They're going to win 8 games now.
Yeah.
You're just good for 3 or 4 extra games, and Vrabel was that guy. They've also got the Jets, who I think with Aaron Judge, a good defense,
Aaron Judge,
Fields.
the New York Yankees.
Right, he's the right
Right
fielder for the
fielder.
New York.
Oh.
No, he's a good baseball
Yeah,
player.
he's a good back end. Right.
Aaron Glenn is
Aaron
He'd
Glenn.
probably be a good NFL player too. If
Yeah.
we just go on athleticism,
Can't
and
catch.
size.
Can't
Can't catch.
You don't
His
know that.
defense.
He definitely dropped
He
the ball
told
in the
me
World
He
Series.
told me he's caught plenty at the club.
He choked the World Series.
So
Oh, you mean the handsome 6'10" Yankees player who does well with the ladies? Oh my God, I'm shocked.
So yeah, Miami. I think they just need to be consistently in the playoff hunt all year.
I just don't see it though.
No, I don't know.
No, I
either.
don't see it.
I think that's a pass mark. I think that's what the expectation is.
Yes,
for them.
I think if they don't
I
make the
don't-
playoffs, he's gone.
I think that's why it's scorching hot. I think everything's falling around. They went all in on veterans.
Yep.
Typically haven't drafted too well, and it's time to pay the piper. It's all falling apart. The veterans want to leave. You've got all this. I think Mike
McDaniels.
McDaniels tries to walk the line between being an offensive guru and a player's coach,
Yeah.
and I don't know you can do both. You need to be one or the other. And you can't have the inmates running the asylum, which is what on the outside.
He needs to learn quick smart that the players aren't his friends in his scenario.
Yeah.
He needs to win and he needs to get the most out of his players. And if that means being a bit of an asshole for a season, he has to do it, because if he doesn't and they fail, it's his job.
Yep.
It's not Tyreek Hill. Whether he's at the Dolphins or not, he's going to get his money. Waddle's going to get his money. Tua's going to get his money. They're all going to get their money. It's going to be him that pays the ultimate price of losing his job.
Yep.
Yep.
Can I sorry, before you go on to the next bit,
Yep.
Brett, our good man, Brett
Oh, here you
Malavey,
go. Yeah.
sent in. He was one that suggested the Dolphins as well.
Shout
I
out,
know
Brett.
you had suggested him, but he came in. He said, Miami, talk about how Quinn is going to be started when Tua's brain finally turns to soup after the third game. And Quinn will lead the Finns to a playoff run.
No, they got Wilson. They'll play Wilson over Quinn, I think.
Also, when can we get a college football talk on the pod? Philip Rivers' son is about to
I've
commit to
seen this.
Texas, and we need to have more people talking about it. Brett, I'll tell you one thing about Philip Rivers' kids. There's going to be plenty of commits over the years. We
Yeah.
can probably miss the first one.
And hasn't he got like 11 kids or something?
Yeah, I think it's 9.
9.
I think
Yeah, I think 9. The joke is with him and his wife, they could have an offense.
Oh, wow.
there was something that he could have 3 generations in the NFL if they all played the right position.
Yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
wild. It's wild.
There's the chance in I think it's maybe like 3 or 4 years' time, there'll be a Philip Rivers' son throw into one of their uncles as a receiver.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I love it.
And it's apparently his son, who's a quarterback, he's
Yep.
going
Consider
to
it.
commit to Texas. He's just
Okay.
a high school kid now, but apparently he's quite good, which you're not shocked by.
No.
Philip
No,
Rivers'
of course
son's
not.
good at football.
Yeah.
Philip
Um,
Rivers was very underrated throughout his whole career.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
Miami before.
No, but Quinn, the Quinn
Yeah.
talk, right?
Yes.
Just I just want to put some little bit of respect on Quinn's name.
Yeah.
Before the season, and again, not a college guy. Everyone knows that about me.
Yeah.
So the fact that I know a bit about Quinn is because I actually like him as a player.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed him. He was projected to be the Heisman favorite. So he was the Heisman favorite before the season started last year at Texas, who were going to be a good college team with all the players they had. And he tore his oblique, so he couldn't move the whole season. He still played pretty much every game, took him to the playoffs, and was serviceable when he couldn't move. He had to stand in a pocket and just launch a ball. In college football, that's incredibly hard to not be able to move because the biggest thing in college football that separates the good teams and the great teams is athleticism.
Yeah.
That's
true.
the biggest difference, and he couldn't move. So I don't think Quinn will be a starter this year. And at the Vault Shooter, we play with the injuries off, so we hope that nothing happens to Tua because I like Tua a lot,
Really
like
like Tua,
as a
man.
guy and a player. And
I like
but
him too.
there's something to Quinn. I'm telling you,
Mm.
there's something to him. You've got a bloated contract.
You
for
don't
an-
win by accident.
No, you got a bloated contract for a quarterback that's injured a lot and also didn't play that well last year. Was not very good last year. You've got an absolute prima donna piece of shit in Tyreek Hill, and I will stand on that to the day I die. That guy's a piece of shit. Amazing football player, piece of shit.
Mm.
But he doesn't give a crap. If he will be out of the team next year if they start losing. He'll be the first one to be like, he wanted out this year.
Yeah, exactly. He
One
wanted out already.
year of
He's
turmoil.
already
He
shown
wanted
his
out.
hand. He's already
Halfway
showed his
through
hand.
the year, he
Yeah,
wanted out.
he wanted out.
Yeah.
So there's some pressure on Tua and there's some pressure on McDaniels. If they there's a real chance that they're not doing well by midseason and they fire McDaniels and the new coach comes in and goes, you know what, Tua, you're probably going to be out next year. Let's see what we got in Quinn so we can see what we got for next year.
Yeah.
It is a very realistic thing that he could play some football next year.
Also, another draft pick for them that I really like is Ollie Gordon as well. So he had a down year last year, but the year before that, he rushed for 1,700 yards.
Oh, wow.
In 12 games.
In
it's a
12
lot.
games.
That's
So
That's a lot. I don't know if people know that. It's a lot of yards.
Yeah.
so he had a little bit of off-field dramas, which is why he fell to the 5th or 6th round or something. But
No, I'm shocked. A college kid that's a star at his college had some
Yeah.
off-field drama.
this could very
Part of it.
and
It's part-
A 20-year-old
part of it.
kid, I'm shocked.
and he's from Oklahoma as well. I think this could very well be like a Mixon situation where Mixon dominated and then had the off-field dramas, and everyone goes, "Oh, we don't want that in our building." And then, lo and behold, he comes into the NFL and dominates, and everyone's like, "Oh, how did he fall in the draft?"
It's a loose term saying Mixon had some off-season dramas, some off-field dramas.
Yeah.
We won't go into it.
Glossing over it a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's glossing over. Yeah,
but I really like that. He's a big guy that is just a powerful runner and quick as a whip. So, I like that for Miami.
Yeah, I don't know about Miami.
It's
this year.
bleak. I think it's
don't
bleak
see
this year.
Anything positive coming out of there?
I think it's playoff or bust for McDaniels.
Yeah.
And I think McDaniels, realistically, if you're a betting man, putting money on him to be the first coach fired is not an outrageous bet.
Mm.
I
No,
just
I
think,
think-
if it's going poorly after 5 weeks, I can see them just being like they fired Brian Flores.
No,
who was
you got to put Sirianni first.
the hot seat. No, Sirianni's good. Sirianni's not gonna
Absolutely
get
he's
fired.
first.
Actually, in
No.
fairness, if they lose their first 5 games, you telling me Sirianni's not on the hot seat?
Nah,
Because every Eagle player, every Eagle coach, every Eagle fan's gonna be like, Sirianni's a problem. It's not us.
Having said that, I've looked at our schedule. We probably could be like 2 or 3 after 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I think their pass marks. If he wants to keep his job, he has to make playoffs next year.
Well, I think he can win his job, and if they win 10 wins and not make the playoffs, which I can see in the AFC with the Chargers, Broncos.
Games. They're not even going to win 7.
I don't think they can.
No,
win
I'm
10
just
games.
saying if they win 10 games and
yeah.
don't make the playoffs, I think that's a pass mark for him.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
That's why I
just
said
don't see it.
they need to win nine games and be in the playoff hunt all year. They can't have this, like I said, the inconsistencies.
If the playoff runs over for them by mid-season, he's done.
I believe so. Yep.
Yep.
I think it's scorching hot. I think he I don't know if there's odds for it out yet, but I'd be putting money on him gone.
Oh, I'm genuinely saying him being first coach fired is not a terrible bet in any single way.
Yeah.
Like I will not say you're an
Can we
idiot
bet
for
on
that.
that?
I am currently looking at that.
It's probably an American market. I might have to try and message Sportsbet, see if they can give me some odds.
All right, who's the next team you got for us? Scotto?
Good question. I didn't get that far. Oh, here we go. One of my favorite ones for the offseason. The Carolina Panthers.
Mhm.
So obviously they've drafted Ted
You guys are in love
McMillan.
with these guys. I don't know
I
why.
can't help it.
Yeah, I know. I
Every
feel
week
like-
they get me more and
I
more.
feel like we're the only team talking about it, so they fit our criteria perfectly.
Yeah.
We're the only podcast talking about them. So obviously got Ted McMillan for the 8th pick and Nick Scotton for the 51st pick. They've got some absolute studs on their team too. So Taylor Morton, who's the tackle, who's
Taylor Moton. Yeah, he's a
yeah.
really good right tackle.
he's absolute
solid.
stud.
He's not like a top 5 guy, but he's just probably like 10 to 15 and just always.
I would say he's like a 7 to 10.
So let's say around the 10 mark, and he's just always that.
Yep.
Like he's just consistent.
Yep.
And that's the hardest thing in offensive line, to be consistent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wins more than he loses. He's got a pretty good win percentage. So
And then Aquanu's the other tackle who's
he's coming on strong.
his rookie year was outstanding and he dropped off a bit last year, but he's a very, very good tackle. He just hasn't been as healthy as they need him to be.
No, that's absolutely right. JC Horn obviously got paid the absolute bag and deservingly so. He's a shutdown corner in today's NFL, which is hard to do. And Derek Brown, who's the defensive tackle, They
got hurt last year.
They let Burns go because they've got Brown. That's the caliber of player that he can be.
I heard someone say the other day, because they took Brown at pick 5, that he was a bust. He's not a bust. He's one of the best defensive tackles in football.
Yep.
It's just, unfortunately, he plays for Carolina.
Yes, exactly.
Because you never hear about it. And he did get hurt. I think he missed most of the second half of the season last year.
Yep.
That's just off the top of my head. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he definitely missed a lot of games last year with a season-ending injury. But he's a stud. He's so good.
Yes, absolutely. So Coach Hot Seat, obviously Dave Canales finished 5-12 last year in his first go at the gig. I would say he's at a very low temperature hot seat. I think the turnaround that the Panthers had from when Bryce Young started, and then how they literally ruined team seasons towards the end of this.
Canales saved what he bought himself 2 years purely on what he did for Bryce Young.
Yep.
He saved Bryce Young's career.
Yep.
Like if you're giving credit to coaches for what they do for increasing the floor of players, Bryce Young was like, what are they going to do? They've just benched him for Andy Dalton. What the hell are they going to do?
And that
with this
happened
kid?
just before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And it was like the Rams, the Seattle, like there was 5 or 6 teams that were like, hey, he can go here, he can go there, he can go there. And 1 year removed being the number 1 overall pick. And then he came back and played like the number 1 overall pick. So, testament to Canales, who is a quarterback coach with Gino at Seattle and Baker Mayfield at Tampa Bay. So he's got a good track record of turning QBs around. The pass mark, I'm going to go high here. I think internally, I think they might be 7-8 wins for a pass mark. And externally, I think everyone's really low on them. I think it might be like a 4 to 5 win team. But I think, like, timestamp this from 3 weeks ago, they're going to be winning the division.
Well, I don't like Atlanta are now talking about trading Kyle Pitts, so they're ready to move off that roller coaster, which I'm surprised by. I would give him another year, but they're in the building with him, so it's their call.
Yep.
They're basically reports are they're looking to move him. We're relying on Penix,
I'll be
who
trading Cousins at some point.
Cousins will be out of there. And then Penix, who played, again, I liked as a rookie, but he played 4 games. It's a very
They
small
had nothing to
sample
play
size.
for.
Yeah, and nothing to play for. And then Tampa Bay, who I think are getting worse every season.
Yes.
I don't think they got better in the offseason. I don't think they're that talented.
I like
I just
their
think
moves.
it's the Baker factor. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna win you some games, Baker.
Yeah.
But again, they only won 8 games last year.
Yeah.
They weren't or 9 games. They weren't a good in the story of the NFL. They weren't a good
And
team.
they weren't a dominant team in a weak division, so I think the division's right up for grabs.
yeah, and then
And
who-
the Saints are trying not to
Oh,
win.
the
And if
Saints will be
every
throwing it
win that
away.
they get is a detriment to the whole team.
yeah, I guarantee they will be 100% trying not to win
Yeah.
football games next
Yeah.
year. So I think
They-
you're right.
they
I
should
think
be trying to win 0 games.
that should be their goal. Their goal should maybe just win one, so you don't have that. You know,
You don't want to be the worst.
The third
0
team
and
ever to
16.
not win a
yeah.
game.
You don't want to be the Browns.
Yeah.
No. All the Lions.
And they've also got
That's
like
the
a
Browns.
I think the Browns never went.
Yeah, the Browns did, and their fans did a lap of the stadium
Oh, that's
to
right.
circle a 0.
Yes, they had a I actually interviewed the guy on this podcast once that created the parade for them not winning a football game.
Oh wow, fantastic!
Yeah, it was hilarious.
riveting
I know,
content.
Yeah.
I know Detroit went 0
And
because
Detroit did, and then Tampa Bay back in
Dan
like the
Campbell was
70s.
part of the 0 team.
Yeah, he was. He played
Yeah.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got a budding wide receiver duo of Leggett and McMillan, which could be exciting. I think both those guys are very talented, and it's just a matter of when the penny drops for them both. Obviously, Bryce Young's polarizing. A lot of people will say that you get rid of him, he's useless. A lot of people are saying, yeah, we can see what they're working with there.
Yep.
Defense is up and coming and quite, if you don't want to be seeing them if they're in the playoff hunt, that defense can really get up and about.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
if healthy, obviously we turn the injuries off. But yeah, this is a team that I'm really going to get around. So, and Seattle has to play them about halfway through the year, and I'm not confident.
No, it could go horribly wrong. They could suck next year. Like Bryce Young could revert back. I hope it doesn't happen because I genuinely hope that I don't want the Carolina Panthers to pay the ultimate price for trading for him, and
Yeah.
they've given up so much to get him. Like
They
What-
gave up.
what
They
the-
gave up way too much.
what the
For what
Bears
he
have-
is way too much.
what the Bears have received for him because now all the draft picks
Yep.
are done. It's wild.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to pay the price for trying to bring a quarterback into the building because I think most teams' goal should be bringing in a franchise
Yeah,
quarterback.
fine, but like there's quarterbacks and there's quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks that you draft because you got to draft a guy, and there's quarterbacks that you sell the farm for. And I just don't think.
Well,
Hopkins-
coming out of college, he was that
He
was
was,
that
though.
guy.
Too fucking small, boys. Come on. He's
Yeah,
too
but the
Yeah.
NFL's changing now.
No,
The
So would
pocket
you feel better if
moves.
they took Stroud? Because I would say if they took Stroud, we wouldn't be talking about Stroud in the same light that we do now.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I would feel better because he's a better physical specimen.
Oh, but
Like, you
if
can't
you
draft a guy,
half-
you can't sell the farm for a guy 5'10".
but halfway
can't.
through
Hey,
last
he's
year,
5'11", okay?
Come
5'10" and 3/4.
He's
halfway
he's
through
5'10"
last-
in boots.
halfway through last year, if you compared Stroud and Young and how they finished the year, we're having a completely different conversation.
Yeah.
You're taking Stroud's body of work in year one and saying he's a far better prospect, but what they proved in the last 6 to 8 games of last year, that Young was a better player.
He did. He was a better football player. If you were never watched football before in your life,
Yeah.
and the second half
Sam
of last
Darnold's
season,
MVP and he's the best
Yeah,
player in
I'm not
history.
really-
Sam Darnold's the best quarterback you've ever seen last year,
Yeah.
and except for the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And
No, you
then-
stop watching it then.
Yeah, And then if you'd watch Stroud and Bryce Young the second half of that season, you would say Bryce Young's a better player.
I want to see more than
Yeah, we got-
5 games. where
And
he's
that's
played-
fair. That's
where he's
fair.
played
And that is fair.
okay.
Oh, he was better than okay. But that's a fair point.
And then what you said before, so what I liked about them last year was their season was done and dusted, and they were ending team
They're
seasons.
still playing hard.
Like
That's
I think the Cowboys played him in like week 13 or something, and I was like,
That's-
they're
isn't
going to kick the
Isn't that one of the
crap.
things that's good about the NFL? Like no team really tanks. Like everyone plays hard to the
Oh,
end,
no, teams
even if
tank.
their season over.
Teams
The-
Not
let's
really.
let's come back week 5 when the Saints have scored 14 points total.
Yeah, a lot of that's just because they just suck.
Nothing will ever beat the Saints' first 2 games last year.
Oh,
Hey,
They ran a number up on the Cowboys so hard
It
that
was
I was like,
40.
this is the best team in the NFL.
I think they scored 100 points in 2 weeks.
They did.
Wow, that's
It was
that's-
wild.
Seattle's got that whole training staff now, so let's see how that goes.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. So the last one here, which is probably the most polarizing one because of one particular individual in this show, the Indianapolis Colts.
Why? Why are they polarizing?
Obviously, they
What are you trying
got.
to say?
Yeah, what George?
Can we please let Scott finish?
Yeah, sorry. That's
So,
sorry,
obviously-
George. You're right.
Obviously, round one, they got the dog himself, Tyler Warren, who's just a beast. And you listen to anything that we've said about him. we don't,
Can I just say one thing on Tyler Warren? If he ends up sucking,
Nah,
I am
he
going to
can't.
be so fucking
Nah.
upset. Like,
He
I don't
can't.
think he will,
He can't.
but shit, it will deflate me if he ends up being
Nah.
crap. And we're like 2 seasons in, and we're like, oh man, this guy's crap.
Nah.
I'm going to be so upset.
Nah, because I would be all up and about on a new prospect. That's just how it all
Yeah,
goes.
it's right.
He can be the next George Kittle.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he
a
will be.
beast.
I think he's
a
so
beast.
good.
And
And Loveland will be the next Kelsey because that's what I
yeah,
think
that's
they'll
a
be
similar
like.
comparison.
Yep.
Yep. And they got JT Timawari, Waro. I don't know, but I did see
You
some.
sound
of his-
worried.
Yeah. I did say some of his film is a higher state day end, and he's just he's a beast, I think, but he's a little bit more of a project kind of guy.
Yep.
It might be like he gets the speed of the NFL, and then he'll take off from there. So I've just butchered that. Sorry.
That's all right.
So the stars there. So they've obviously got Quentin Nelson. They got Raymond from the OT as well.
Yep.
DeForest Buckner, who's
He's older now.
a bit older.
older.
Yeah.
He's got a big go about him still.
Still
Yeah.
got a dog about him. Yeah.
Latu,
Oh, Latu's well, he's not quite a star.
he just couldn't
yet.
stay healthy last year. I
Yeah.
feel like if he could stay healthy, we'd be talking about him in a similar vein as Jared Verse. Like when
Yeah.
he played, he was
Yes.
so good.
Yeah.
Just the body of work wasn't as grand.
And obviously Jonathan Taylor as well is a stud running back who's probably getting a little bit hurt now. But coach Shane Steichen, who's 17-17, which is just the epitome of what you think about the Colts, really.
Yeah.
Um,
That's accurate as all fuck.
It is.
the pass mark for them, I think, is surprising. 7 to 8 wins. / Richardson needs to look competent.
Yeah, I think that's a bigger pass.
I think if they win 7 games and Richardson looks like a quarterback that deserves to be in the NFL, it's fine because you've got the building blocks there and you grow with your quarterback. If you win 7 games and we're still debating Daniel Jones, Richardson, and whoever their practice squad quarterback is, I think someone's gone.
I think Steichen's job hinges directly on Anthony Richardson.
Why? He didn't draft him.
Well,
Yes.
I just think, but
Yes, he did.
he's an offense. Yeah, he was there when they drafted him.
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
like he didn't. Like the GM would have made the call.
Oh, either way, it
do you
doesn't
think
matter.
in an NFL franchise when you're getting a top 5 or a top 5 pick and you use it on a quarterback, you don't consult your coach,
I'm not saying he's not.
who's
gonna
an
consult it.
offensive-minded coach?
I'm telling you that they hired him and drafted Richardson the same year.
Yeah.
Going, we've got this offensive
Yep.
guru from Philadelphia who's
Yep.
done such a good job there with Jalen Hurts.
He did.
Let's
Who's
give him this stud and let's let him cook.
Yep.
His job entirely hinges
they're married?
on
Yep.
on
Clip,
them.
clip this now.
Yeah.
In training camp, they're Daniel Jones and Richardson are splitting reps.
And
But
that's
they're
No,
split-
they're,
I don't
they're
think
doing
that's-
it now for
They're-
OTAs.
yeah,
I don't think that's
in
outrageous
training camp.
either.
They're splitting first team reps.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now. Clip this now. Daniel Jones will beat out Richardson
They won't.
for the starting
No.
job.
No, they
He
can't.
They
Can I-
will.
can I
He
tell you
will,
what-
because he's
I
just going
don't
to be so
care-
much better.
I don't care if Jones has a 90% accuracy and throws for 6,000 yards in the preseason. They're starting Richardson week 1 because they've invested too much in him, and they cannot start Jones, and Jones sucks because the whole world will just melt down. If they start Richardson and Richardson sucks,
Even if he beats
sucks.
him out in training camp and he's a way
What
better
is
quarterback.
they can't. They can't.
What in your mind has told you that Daniel Jones is a better player than Anthony Richardson?
I think he can run an offense better.
What tells you that though? Because that was his biggest. His entire every offensive success he had at the Giants was him dumping off passes to receivers and
Yeah.
Saquon.
Yeah.
That was the only
Or
year
running.
he had success,
Yeah.
or running with it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then the one memory of him running with it was him stumbling when he was
Yeah.
going to score a touchdown.
Yeah,
That was how
that's
funny it was.
true.
He ran too fast for his own legs. Now he was running very fast. but-
Funny story about that.
Yeah.
That run actually was the fastest
Yep.
rush from a quarterback as well.
No,
He beat-
it was like the third fastest speed recorded
Yes.
in the NFL that season.
it beat Lamar
That's how
Jackson.
fast he was
This-
going.
What a guy.
And
This is
fell over.
why you have to play Richardson week 1, because if he doesn't win that job, you have no trade value for him. He's not going to develop because you've lost the player. He's
Yep.
gone.
Yep.
And he's got no trade value. So you have to
Well-
play him he's starting week 1.
I've
If he doesn't start week 1,
I've made the call. We'll see who's right.
Yeah, we'll 100%. I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll address this but I think he will too.
Yeah.
The scary part with Richardson, right? And this is what makes me love him and is terrified of him. He is either going to be dog shitting out of the NFL next year, or
MVP candidate.
or he's going to be the best quarter. He's going to be one
Yeah.
of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the
Okay.
difference. He's
But-
not going to be. He's
What-
not the sort of guy that's going to be just okay. He's either going to be
What's the
really
more-
good or shit.
Not with your years of experience
Yeah.
watching the NFL. What's the more likely?
That
of
is
those
shit.
two
That's the more
scenarios?
likely from what we've seen. But the tangible traits just keep this
Why? 'Cause he's-
ticking
Because he's big and tall, can run fast.
and he can
swing it.
throw 70 yards without
After
moving.
the first
Doesn't
game
matter.
last
If you
year,
can't read a defense. It doesn't matter.
I will never forget the first game last year where he threw off his back foot, stiff arming a guy like 65
Yeah.
yards through
Yep.
the air.
Yeah, I remember that throw. It was amazing.
You cannot just find those guys off the street and go, you're in. I'm talking the NFL street.
Yeah.
You can find Daniel Joneses off the NFL street everywhere. You
Yeah.
can throw a rock and hit a guy's third string at some teams.
Yeah.
Like he is a dime a dozen quarterback now, Daniel Jones.
Agreed.
The Giants shouldn't have drafted him. They stuffed up. No one thought it was a good move. He had one solid year where he threw 12 touchdown passes, and
Yeah,
that was the
that's
year
right.
we're crowing about. Like he's not a competent quarterback. He's proven that. Brian Dable is a very good offensive coordinator, and he couldn't get him right. So what
Not
chance
even
does anyone?
right. Competent.
Yeah, he couldn't even get. The competence was him going, "You're not going to throw the ball ever. That's how I'm going to make you competent."
Mm.
That's his one successful year in the NFL was him not throwing the ball ever.
Yep.
So I'm telling you, Steichen's career, not his career, his job
Coaching
next
job,
year
yep.
hinges on Richardson. He needs to be doing everything he physically can with Anthony Richardson. Have him around for dinner 3 times a week and go, hey, have some feed. Let's go in and watch some tape together. He needs to baby him to the point where like his job depends on Anthony Richardson.
Mm.
I cannot be more confident in that.
Yeah, I couldn't
If
agree. more.
Anthony Richardson sucks and after 5 games, if Anthony Richardson's benched and like this guy's done, Steichen's job is done. They will be like, let's fire, let's tank this year and let's
Yep.
start again.
Because the roster in and of itself is not a bad roster.
It's
No,
okay.
they're
It's
solid.
okay.
They're solid.
They've got
If I like-
Pierce at wide receiver. They've got Warren. We talked about
They've got Downs.
Antonio. The wide receiver. The
If they had
number one wide
competent
receiver.
QB play.
No, Downs. Josh Downs is the
No, Josh Downs. They've got Antonio. He's a son of a young.
Pierce?
No, Pierce is the other guy. Antonio. He's a son of an old player. Why can I not remember this guy? Anyway, Brocky will look
This
it
is
up.
why I gave the teams to Brock at the start.
Michael was it? Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman.
Pittman.
His dad was the
Yeah.
running back.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the Bucks.
Yeah, he was quite injured last year.
Yeah,
as
and he
well,
was
so-
hurt all last year and tried to play and just couldn't move.
Yes,
He's
yep.
a really good player.
Their
so there's
defense
some
is
pieces
very
there.
solid. I like their defense.
Brandon Smith is a good tackle.
Yep.
Like Quentin Nelson, obviously, he's a very good guard. They've got some guys there. I'm telling you, Steichen needs to make it work this year. He's done.
Zari Franklin had bloody 100
with competent QB play, they should be trying to win that division.
Yeah, because like every team in this division has some caveats on their team. Like the Jaguars' caveat is can Lawrence
Hmm.
turn into the guy that a lot of us think he can. A lot that he's quite polarizing.
He's shown glimpses that he can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So and then the Texans, they're not the most talented team in the world. The Texans, they're just well coached, and I think Stroud covers up a lot of their issues last year. But again, I don't think they improved their O line. Their
Not
biggest
well,
issue,
though.
no, their biggest issue last year was they couldn't protect him, and they didn't really trading away their starting left tackle didn't really fix that situation. And then who's the other team in the division? I can't think of it.
Titans.
The Titans, who again, like if Cam Ward's good, well, all bets are off. If Cam Ward's good,
If
it's-
Cam Ward's good, they could almost win the division.
exactly, it's a
Like-
wide open division.
Yep.
So I think the Colts. It would not shock me if the Colts win the division next year. I would not be surprised in the slightest if they get everything right. They play good defense, which they have for the past 3 or 4
If
years.
Richardson is the guy,
Yeah.
they should be the favorites to win.
I think so too. I think there's a lot hinging on their preseason and their first few games in the
Oh,
NFL.
if Richardson comes out week 1 and he's like running over people and he's slinging it around everywhere and like, you know,
No.
making good reads and that, like that's, yeah, of course. they're gonna
No,
be favourites.
it's not if Richardson's running over people and throwing the deep ball. Richardson needs to play the quarterback position and give what the defense
10 to
takes
15
him.
yards.
Yeah.
He needs to
Needs
to dominate 10 to
the
15 yard
close to
passes.
mid-range
I'm not
passes.
sure. I'm not sure that he's capable of that.
No, and that's fair because he
No.
hasn't shown us he is.
No.
No.
But he's
I just
always
have
going to
faith.
be running over people, and he's always going to be slinging it deep.
Yeah.
And you take that away from him, and we've seen what teams have done. They keep him in the pocket, and and he can't play the quarterback position in a way that he can just get the first downs and keep
keep
the
offense
chains moving,
Yep.
keep the time of possession. He's a very throw a pick or throw a touchdown.
Yeah, and Sykin's got some pressure on him too because
He did.
he needs to
called him out.
design that more. He's got a good running back, a good offensive line, a quarterback. Like, design some stuff to make Anthony Richardson successful because whether he likes it or not, his job depends on that.
But
Yeah.
we also saw Flacco come in and they looked like a fully competent offense where all the intermediate routes, Pittman was feasting, Downs was feasting.
There's just no explosiveness.
Even
with
like
Flacco.
Mo Ali Cox was getting the ball. Like, you know what I mean? Like they
That's
looked
kind of what I was saying
competent.
about Jones. Though, can't Jones do that Flacco role? Surely he can.
No,
When have we ever seen it?
Daniel Jones is absolutely trash. He's thrown for 3,000. He's thrown for 3,000 yards in his first year, then threw for 3,200 in 2022. Threw for 24 touchdowns in his first year. The most after that was 15 in 2022.
Yeah, I'm not like
He's
what I'm saying.
trash.
I'm not saying
You're just
that
saying
he's
he could be
good.
competent.
I'm saying that he's a better quarterback at the actual quarterback position. Not just like, like sure, Richards has got more tangibles and more talent and whatever, but just as a competent quarterback who can run an offense, he's better.
But he hasn't shown.
Yeah,
he can do that well.
I genuinely don't know if he is.
Mm.
If he shows that this year, great. But I don't. I can't think of why he would do that. And if he does, great. Like I'm happy for
Out
him,
of
but
those
I don't
two
think it will.
guys, you'd rather take the super high ceiling or out of the NFL instead of the guy that's moderate ceiling and also out of the NFL.
Wouldn't it be funny if he just like Steichen made him good?
Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I
Wouldn't
think.
it be funny?
That's the other thing that could solve Steichen's problem. If Richardson sucks and then Daniel Jones has a Darnold sort of season,
That's what I'm saying.
then you're like, okay, well, Steichen can obviously coach. Richardson's definitely
Just,
the
that's
problem
just no
here.
good.
Yeah. So that's his. You're right. That's his second
kind
option.
of what
Or-
I'm banking on happening.
Or
Yeah.
he gets rid of both of them and Cousins is there or something like that, and they're going all in for it.
Oh, if that happens, he's coach. He may as well just resign.
Yeah.
Well, no, he just goes, "What these guys? I can't win with these guys. If you want the playoffs, get me a veteran quarterback."
Yeah.
That's a top 5 quarterback you're talking about. Like that, eh?
There it is.
Anything on your list is just appalling.
All right, Brocky. I think you've got a voice clip to play us.
Yes. Let's get on to the Saints. Let's go to our great mate,
here we go.
Jones Duggan.
Checking in with our
Tristan.
beat Saints
I think it's
reporter.
Tristan Duggins Jones, isn't it? Not Jones Duggan.
Tristan Jones Duggan, yep.
Tristan Jones Duggan.
Yep.
And you know what? A man who
Joe's
is
last names.
incredibly well built and incredibly handsome.
Yes,
Has
he's
a
good.
very not very, a mildly heterosexual man.
Margaret.
He's a very attractive young man.
Shout out.
Can't wait to play some football with him this year.
So it's a 2-minute 38 clip. So he sent us a little podcast, boys. So
Jesus
buckle in.
Christ, this is like one of your short clips.
Evening, boys. Give a dog bone, he's going to bite. Of course, I'm back with Saints news. Try and make this quick. Starting with pick 1, Calvin Banks. Dog. 6'5", 320 pounds, an absolute anchor. Excited to see him compete against our edge rushers in training camp. In fact, I am excited to see this entire O-line in action. Quietly confident in him. A much-needed move from tackle to guard for Penning. Fawaga goes back to right tackle where he dominated at Oregon, and veteran pieces McCoy and Ruiz at center and right guard respectively. They're young, they're big, they're sexy. It's Pride Month, boys. Get on board. To the QB battle in the Bayou. Shock. Turning heads early in OTAs. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, but I've got to see what he does with the rock with some pressure under his belt. Early report says he's having a little bit of trouble throwing over the middle to his receivers, but boy has a cannon, has no issues throwing them to the speeds to Shaheed down deep. You know who isn't having trouble finding his receivers? The Rat Dog. They tell me Kellen Moore is impressed by Rattler's command of the offense. Looks like a whole new man, confident, accurate arm. Does he start week 1 for the Saints? Only time will tell. Exciting stuff. To our boys over at defense, 5 picks towards the defensive side of the ball. A much-needed tune-up for the aging unit. Defensive tackle Vernon Broughton comes into a great opportunity to develop alongside established veterans Brian Brzee and Colin Saunders. Also, round 3, safety Jonas Sanka, Virginia. Got to watch this man tackle. Absolute thing of beauty. Tape looks excellent. Should get some time in special teams to begin with. Looks like he'll replace Matthew when it runs out of steam in the next season or 2. Round 4, boys. Let me put you onto something. Keep an ear out for the name Danny Stutzman. Linebacker out at Oklahoma, Sooners boy. Man, I cannot wait to see what this man does on the field. From all reports here at OTAs, this man is an absolute stud, excellent run stopper, smart football player. The Mario now 36, Stutzman, man, he will dominate alongside Pete Werner come the next year. You watch this. Another addition in the 4th, cornerback, Quincy Riley, teammate of Tyler Shockett at Louisville, absolute gadget, can plug and play him anywhere on the field. Bit of a ball hawk too, real position of need for the Saints after losing Lattimore. I could go on, But I'll leave it there. Saints are painted to be an absolute bottom feeder of a team this season, but I truly can't see it pending the quarterback battle outcome. There's something fresh about the black and gold this year. Feels as if they've finally let the old guard die. Sean Payton hasn't coached in New Orleans for 3 years, pretty much 4, but remnants of his time still existed well into last season. Fucking insane. Finally, I'm staring at the future of the franchise, wide eyes, shit-eating grin, absolutely chuffed. I hope they keep doubting us. I really do. It'll make winning so much sweeter.
Well,
Shout out to Tristan.
What a-
I love the
fuck.
enthusiasm.
What a turn of emotions.
that was a roller coaster.
I don't know if he needs a hug or like a high five.
Sounds like he needs a cigarette.
Both.
He is going through it.
I think
There's
I love the enthusiasm, but I just don't see them winning more than 2 games.
No, well, you said this about Pittsburgh last year. So be careful. But this time, I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah.
you.
Nah, look, if the Rat Dogs running out there week 1, just start watching
Yeah.
college tape.
I feel like Callum Moore's like, yeah, he's starting to hype up Rattler so he can start him for 17 games and lose them all.
I saw enough of Rattler last year and won some money on him. So
And also, Tristan, it's cute saying that Tyrann Mathieu has 1 or 2 seasons left in him. I think this is his last.
Definitely.
yeah.
And he's been a terrific player for the Saints. I don't. Is there some? There's some false hope there from Tristan. We love you, buddy.
Look, this is what the
Enthusiasm
off season.
Optimism's there. It's
This is
good.
what's fun though, and this is you know what the main point I took from that was the Saints are turning over a new leaf. That you're right. The Peyton, and when he said the Peyton smell or whatever it was, it's the Peyton contracts that have been killing them the last 3 years. Like,
And
It's-
his contract as well.
Yeah.
They
It's
paid
been-
him well.
it's been the money that's been stopping them from getting better. This is kind of the last year of them not having those restraints in free agency. So if they can get a few things right, if they can get a number 1 pick and get a quarterback, sky's the limit. That's excitement of a team that is changing and moving in a different direction. Whether that's going to be up this year, I have my
No,
doubts.
it
But
won't be, right?
if they suck this year, there's still some faith that they're trending in the right direction. And Trevor Penning 100% needed to move to guard because that guy was an absolute. If Callum Moore wants to lose, move him back to tackle because he's a liability at times.
Over under penalties this year for Penning.
Let
7.5?
guard. They don't see
8?
holding as much, so I'm going to go with 21.
I reckon he's just a walking penalty just looking at the refs.
Like he's just.
J.A.
Over under Penning fights
What
in
did you say, Brock?
off season.
I said, who's a walking JA?
I'm not a walking. The refs love me.
Yeah.
Refs have always
Hey.
found me endearing.
I love you, man. It's
Yeah,
endearing.
that's all, you know what? That's all I need.
Stretch.
All right, before we get too long, let's get
Yeah.
on to Brocky's corner here, boys.
Boy.
Oh, a bit of BC.
So,
What's it brought to you by?
Kelly Clothing. Scotty's wearing the hoodie.
Shout out.
Thank you very much.
Shout
Good
out.
hoodie, though. Pretty warm.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for my
yeah.
picture.
Me and Scotty wouldn't know, so me and George wouldn't know.
I
if they
do know
hoodies.
quite well. Good hoodie.
Good
Good
hoodie.
gym hoodie.
All right, then.
I don't have mediums. So, Madden cover released yesterday or 2
Ooh,
days.
that's
So,
nice.
let's just have a look at this, boys.
It's outstanding.
It's Saquon Barkley doing the hurdle. Yeah, cool. No one cares. Let's look at the ones that it should have been.
What? No one. What do you mean? No one.
No one cares. Fuck off, Saquon
The
Barkley.
ones that
It should have been Tyreek Hill getting arrested from his teammate. That's what should have made the cover. If not, Will Levis is
Oh,
always
Will Levis had a
Will
cute,
Levis is always a good name.
Everyone, get on the video and check these out. These are outstanding.
Caleb Williams looking very zesty. I don't know what he's doing with his face right there, but
It looks high as a
could have been a
kite, bro.
chance. My boy, Derrick Henry, just looking
Uh,
excited, running
Good
the rock.
contract for an elusive running back.
Very elusive. Or we could go Miami route, just go a little off-season route.
Brocky, make sure that's the thumbnail for the podcast.
Bit of
That
big-
one.
bit of
That
big
one
power.
absolutely will be.
That's actually Daddy Diggs. They call
Daddy
it.
Diggs. Aaron Rodgers just going through it in
Yeah.
New York. Like, he did not want to be there. He's coming down off some psychedelics, that's for
He
sure.
looks like a real Jets player there. Going through it.
If not, we could just read a book on the sidelines. I hope they add that to the new game as
Perfect.
well. If not, I want the coaches' features. I want Bill Belichick doing
Oh.
yoga on the beach with his 24.
Jeez.
He's a
Quote-
24-year-old band member of the
Hang on. Quote 24. That's allegedly. She's not 24.
Oh.
If not, Jameis Winston.
Oh,
Just enjoying
yes.
some snow.
Yep.
Kenny Small Hand Pickett just can't throw the ball. Can't wait to see his quarterback ratings this year. If not, we could go the Karma edition and we
Oh,
got
wow.
Watson getting carted off once again.
Hold on. Did you say the Karma
It's
edition?
Karma.
It's the Karma edition. It's going to be the special case.
It says that they're Karma
It's going to be the
edition.
special edition in this
It
one.
says Karma edition. That's amazing.
So That's what we're doing, boys.
What about the
Oh.
all release team on Madden? Is Justin Tucker the kicker?
Yeah, Justin Tucker and B Diddy's up there as well.
I think they call it the greybeards.
The Greybeards.
The
Just,
free agent players.
just throw the original back up, please, Brock.
Oh.
Yeah.
No
You can't
one-
let
Can I
anything
say
go.
one thing? Are you scared now? Because every player struggles with it. The Madden
It's a
athlete.
myth, bro. Don't worry.
I think Josh Allen was the athlete last year and won MVP, so that might have
It's a
buried
myth.
that.
It was Christian McCaffrey last year, and he
yeah.
definitely got
It
injured.
was Christian Allen
Yeah.
was the year before.
Yep,
Yeah.
the curse is very real,
It's
boys.
a myth, bro. Don't worry about it.
Are you not worried?
No.
Can I ask about I looked at them shooting the cover shoot
Yes.
from Saquon Barkley. Why did they have to recreate it? Just take the
I-
actual moment.
I think it was just to get the right camera angle
Yeah, you're
without
right,
all
yeah.
the background.
Nah,
and all
the
that
side
stuff.
angle was so much better.
yeah, it is cool.
That's so cool, man.
He said that he had a lot of respect for actors because he had to do about 300 takes. They had,
Oh, wow.
they had like wires on
Yeah, I
him to
saw
help
the
him.
wires, yeah.
But he was like, I got a lot of. I did it for one day, and I've got a lot of respect for actors now.
well deserved cover athlete. He obviously had an unbelievable season last year. And
Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
no-
It doesn't even look like Saquon Barkley a little
Well
bit, actually.
deserved.
what do you, mean? You disagree?
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, Scotty can't play until it comes to
Yeah, Scotty only
computer.
Scotty only plays on All Pro anyway, so don't worry about Scotty.
Hey, I'm not
Rookie.
at all pro level yet. I'm at
He's on-
whatever the one below that is.
oh my god!
No,
Stop,
I'm
stop.
not. I'm not.
Stop talking.
I'm
He's
not.
playing rookie. He's loving his Jalen Miro.
People are breaking
Bro.
screens right now.
Nah, oh, I should make it Jalen Milrow. You're right.
Yeah, definitely should. Have you not done that yet?
No, is he there? Oh, we'll talk about this.
Yeah, you can update. You can update.
Yeah,
Sure,
Dylan-
Sanders is
I
in
need
there.
to start a new franchise.
That Canberra
Yeah.
edition one was really good.
The
That
car
was
is
really
very funny. Guys, get on the video and check out Brocky's corner. That was outstanding.
That was the best one yet, Brocky.
Some
Well
of them-
done.
Real rapid fire.
Some of them were very
That
good.
was really good.
I'm gonna go in and make sure I make a clip of that. 'cause
Please do.
That was hilarious.
fantastic. Well done, Brock.
All right, that's it for us this week. Brocky, thank you for your hard work on the ones
Thank
and
you,
twos,
boys.
my big dog. Thanks to my two bigger dogs on the couch.
Ooh, yeah.
One through the neck, one through the arms. Get on the video, check out
Which
Joy
one has
Boy.
bigger legs?
Definitely Scotty. We measured it.
We measured it.
Them stumpy little legs.
Just admit it.
I want to remeasure.
I meant it. I meant it.
Do we need to get back on the leg press?
I want to remeasure.
What about
with
what
a
about the
butterfly.
hack squat? Do we need to get back on that too?
You couldn't walk for a week after an
No,
exercise
no,
with
I
Scotty.
was fine, bro. I was playing it up. in the
Cap.
Cat. All right, that's it from us. We'll find something to do next week. See you next week, guys.
Yep.
Peace out, everyone.
Peace out.
Thank you.
I hope the Eagles lose on a call.